Hey guys, welcome to our virtual open house. We're out here in the country today, beautiful fall day, and just I'm excited to show you the house inside. These people finished it a couple of months ago, so they're finally moved in and got everything decorated, and they're here to show it off to you. Hope they're home. Hi, Carolyn.
Hi, Frank, how are you?
I'm great.
Come
I'm
on
excited
in.
to come in.
All righty, come on in.
Well, it's beautiful. You've done a great job. Already got it
Thank you.
decorated.
Yeah,
Love the stairway. This is awesome. So y'all did the stairway, right? You did the handrail and the spindles?
Yeah, we did the spindles, the posts, the handrail, all that stuff. Contractor did the floor, and then we came in and finished this.
Yeah. And I'm excited for them to see that upstairs y'all did. They've got an upstairs that they didn't finish out, so it's kind of a storage area. And they get ambitious later, they can finish that out. But it's great, so we'll show you that here in a little bit.
And we had it framed out so we could finish it out.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Beautiful fireplace. So tell them the story about the mantle.
Now, when the septic guys came out last November to dig the hole and put the septic tanks in, first thing they had to do was dig out a big bow tree.
There you
I
go.
forgot the name of it.
Yeah.
It was a big tree, about 3 foot in diameter, so it sat out there for months afterwards and dried out. And I finally cut a piece out of it and took it to the sawmill in Sanger
Oh, that's great.
and had them mill the mantle and the shells behind you. And then I finished it out and mounted it on the wall. So that all this here came from a tree on the property.
That's awesome. And there was a story too about the granite too, wasn't there?
We were just trying to find a hearth. Didn't know exactly what material we wanted or anything. We were at a granite shop, and they had some scrap pieces in the back, and we found this one and just picked that up, and they cut it and did the edge for us. And so you never know where you're going to find your materials.
Yeah.
So-
I picked it up, my daughter helped me bring it in the house and lay it.
So y'all did recruit some family work in this.
We
Oh
did.
yeah.
We
In
absolutely
fact, my
did.
son-in-law came out a couple of weekends to help us hang the ceiling.
No, that's great. That's beautiful. Beautiful. So that's the great thing about our program. Lets you have some options on selecting material, and if you can, get them dug up in your backyard, that's even better, right? All right, well, let's see the rest of the house.
Okay.
So, Carolyn, how did you come up with all the color scheme stuff? Is this something you saw in a magazine, or just something you saw that you liked? Or?
I knew what I didn't want, and so from that, we just kind of had to pick and choose what we ended up with.
Right.
I wanted the soft colors in here. I didn't want to go too much to a brown or too much to a gray, so that's kind of what we ended up with, just a real neutral scheme.
As building any house, there's always going to be some disagreements. The color scheme is probably the single biggest disagreement. There were many hours of debate on that.
I bet.
But with the dark floors and the light walls and everything, it came out pretty good. I'm real happy with it. I'm real pleased with it.
Okay.
Best advice I can give future couples is she's always right when it comes to color.
Yeah, well, I think that's good marital advice anytime, isn't it? Especially when you build a house. Well, show me your kitchen. I love how all that turned out.
So really, this one big open room we love it. We love it so much. And one of the things I wanted was a big island with no sink in it, no stove in it, no nothing. Just something that I can serve off of and use for prep and that kind of thing. My pantry is in the cabinets over there. I don't have a walk-in pantry here, but I love what I did with it. I love having just the
Everything's right there.
cabinets. Yeah.
That's great.
Um,
Shaker cabinets.
shaker cabinets. We did all the hardware ourselves.
Cabinets were built by Dave Terry down close to Weatherford. And they came in and put them all in, and then I had a painter paint the cabinets in the house. We started to do that and figured out real quick that we couldn't do as good a job, it would take quite as long.
So it's good to do some things yourself, but leave it to the professionals on some.
Yes.
That's probably good advice right there.
Yeah.
Kind of professional to do
Yeah.
that cabinets.
So guys, you'll see throughout the house as we go through it that they've really done some really neat things as far as tile selection. Something kind of unique. You don't see it everywhere. So she's got a great eye for detail and just overall how everything looks. And so it's so you've done a really good job with all of that. So.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun to do it.
So you got to tell everybody the story of the door over here by the pantry.
Okay, so we live on 26 acres, and there's an old abandoned house on the property, and we were looking for just trying to incorporate some of the history of the property into this house. And we found this door in the old house. This was the front door from the old house, and it was brown, just painted brown. So we took it off of the house and brought it back here and sanded it down. And I was just going to sand it and then paint it, and the way it turned out with the sanding, so we've got pink and brown on this side, and on the other side is green and brown.
Because you might expect that house is 50 years old.
Yeah,
There's
the store is
about 50 coats of
probably
paint on it.
50 years old. And then we removed the glass that was not safety glass and put plexiglass in here. But
Oh, that's good.
the original hardware is on here, and we just love incorporating that into this house.
Little
Part of
history
the
here.
history
Yeah.
of where this house is, or where this property has been and stuff. So that's one of my favorite things about the house, is that.
That's great. That's great. Carolyn, just sitting here, I was just thinking about this is such a good use of space. All your cookbooks and stuff over here.
Yeah,
So definitely want to get that in our video here. It's just that turned out really nice. So
I love having that bookcase there. Yeah.
very good. All right, well, let's go through the rest of the house. So, looked at the house, did a great job. Let's talk a little bit about kind of how you got started with this. I think that's a cool story. How you found this and what led you to ultimately doing it.
Well, about 2-3 years ago, we bought this shell of a building from UBuildIt, and I finished it out interior, had it mounted, turned it into a cabinet for my daughter and son-in-law down the road. And having done such a great job of that, I decided, well, when it comes time to build our house, I can do that. I got all the skills, I'll just build our house myself. And of course, the saner person in the group decided that was idiotic crazy and wouldn't let me build it myself. So she started looking for a compromise way to get the house built, and somehow stumbled across UBuildIt, an ad or something on TV or something, I don't remember what. So to placate her, I decided, okay, I'll go to this seminar in Weatherford and hear what these guys have to say. And I was fairly impressed, came back and told her, and the next time the seminar came up, she was available, so we both went. And that's how we got involved.
Awesome. So you've done it, the good, bad, and the ugly. You know, not everything goes perfectly. So we were talking about that y'all had an experience a long time ago that didn't turn out good for you. So this one, compared to that, talk a little bit about that.
About 25 years ago, we built a house with a general contractor down near Cleveland. And at that day and time, nothing like UBuildIt's program even existed that I'm aware of. So we hired a custom home builder, gave them the plans, showed them the property, and they said, okay, fine. They built the house. The problem with doing that we learned at the time was, in retrospect, it was pretty obvious that the builder, whenever there was a dispute or an issue or a problem, the builder was most inclined to side with the subs. Never with us. So in the end, we didn't feel like we had the builder's backing. We were at their mercy. And that was one of the things I insisted on in building this house. And in fact, that's why I wanted to build it myself, because I didn't want to repeat that. I wanted to be able to tell somebody I want it done this way, and if you don't like it, I'll find somebody else who will. That never became necessary, but at least this experience is a way that I could be in control of what happened and how it was built, and that's what I want.
Okay. So from quality to the materials that you selected, you know, finding the mantle, you know, all of that stuff, you were in control of that.
The design of the house from the ground up, whether I used batt insulation or spray foam, or how much of it I used and where. 9-foot ceilings versus 10-foot or 8-foot. You know, those were all our decisions.
So that's what we really talk about with our program is that it is truly a custom home. You know, so all those decisions you get to make. You're not putting that in somebody else's, you know, decision making of what they think your house should look like. It's what you want. So that's great. So y'all did a lot of things yourself. So probably the savings part of it is hard to quantify, but you know, overall, you feel like you saved money by doing it?
I can reliably say that I know I saved at least $15,000, at least. Probably quite a bit more than that. And the reason why I qualify that statement is because we did do so much. The portions that we did do ourselves, we knew ahead of time we were going to do, so therefore we never got bids on it. So I can quantify the material cost, but not the labor cost that have been rolled into the bid. So that part is still a question mark. But all that does is, if I could quantify it, it would just make the savings that much higher.
Right. And we know that a lot of times with the builder that they won't even let you do your own work. So right there, you'd have had that as an issue.
From a liability perspective, I learned that lesson 25 years ago.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let me turn a wrench or drive a nail.
That's good. So, as far as going through the process, what would be your advice to the people that are watching this video, and what would you tell them?
Start yesterday.
Hey, I like that. That's a good one. And I didn't pay for that. That's a good answer.
I think one thing I would like to point out is the difference with UBuildIt is you know up front how much your fee is with UBuildIt. If you have a general contractor, it's a percentage of the total cost to build the house. With UBuildIt, it's a percentage of the square footage of the house. It's a fixed fee, and you know exactly what you're going to pay, and that doesn't change. And that's huge to me. That's huge to me because as your costs go up in building, your GC, your general contractor fee is going to go up. That doesn't happen.
And the fact is, the general contractor and the subs, they're not concerned with controlling costs because they know that the costs are not going to be borne by them. So if they can, if they need lumber, they just order lumber and have it delivered. If they need a 6-foot piece or something, they have no problem about cutting that up a 16-foot 2x4. Wasted more than half of it. That still happens in this case, but at least I'm here and I can put a stop to it.
You brought up one really good thing there too, change orders. So a lot of times it's common practice, and there's a very good reason for it as a general contractor to charge for a change order. But how many things would you think that y'all changed from what you thought you were going to build to the time you actually finished?
I think we actually had 2 change orders throughout the whole process. One was with the framer for the way that I wanted the attic frame, and another one was for something to do with the plumber. I forget now exactly what it was. That's what it was. We added 2 exterior faucets.
Right.
But other than that, that's the only change orders we had.
But what about
But
cost?
we made changes ourselves, and there was no cost for that,
Right.
because that was just us doing, that was us making
That's
the
kind of
change.
what I was getting at.
Yeah,
is that-
so if we were working on the ceiling and we said, no, I just don't think that's working out, we need to do something different, we just change it.
Yeah.
We just change it, and maybe you lose a little bit of material, but that's okay. I mean, you can still have it the way you want it and not worry about.
And the way
The
we
cost of
the
it.
way we managed that is we would go buy a small sample of what we thought we wanted to use, put it up or paint that color, and then decide
Yeah.
is that what we want or not.
Right.
If it wasn't, then we haven't lost much.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Well, guys, I appreciate so much. I know this was a big deal to take up your day and let us invade your house, but I really appreciate it. I think the people out there watching this will get a lot of good out of this, and so
We're happy to do it. We're
thank
happy
you.
to do it.
Thank you. Well, guys, we appreciate you tuning in, and this house is just gorgeous, and just feel free to contact us. Let us know if you have any questions. Appreciate you tuning in. Thanks.